wait, Glacial. Yep, I was waiting for it.
Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
Wow. That is really well done.
That is
I always
raw.
like moments like that. I always like moments like that. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Vontae, the first, the day portion of Mugen Eclipse.
And it's me, Mr. AGNI Kai. I mean, Mr. Twitchy. We are back today with Season 7, Episode 8 of My Hero Academia today.
Yes, sir. What happened last week?
Unrequited love between Toga and her not boyfriend, Deku. She finally, gave her heart out in a full-fledged speech, and Deku, being the innocent little cinnamon roll that he was, can't do that for you. Because he does, love Uraraka. And then as he was escaping, they did learn that he has been at least thinking about using the second user's quirk, or meta ability, as he said. I don't quite know what it is. I thought I was spoiled on it. Now, I don't think so. I have no clue.
I know, because I am a manga reader that's all caught up. I've read up to the current chapter in the manga, so I'm still reading that. Twitchy read up to a certain point, maybe around like midway through the season or so. You guys would know, obviously, because he'll tell you, oh, I'm blind now. So. But yeah, so Toga, her confession to Deku, like, you want to be my boyfriend? He's like, no. Nani? No. But yeah, he ends up leaving. He's traveling back to where he was supposed to be at with Shigaraki in the coffin in the sky. Mm-hmm. And then we transition to Dabi and Shoto about to have their showdown. OST was immaculate in the episode, and I just want to see this AGNI Kai, just like what Twitchy just said. So, you ready to hop right into it?
I am. So without any further delay, guys, let's get into Season 7, Episode 8 of My Hero Academia right about now.
Now, whatever you do, don't push this button.
I am Groot.
Uh-huh.
I am Groot.
That's right.
I am Groot.
No! No, that's the button that will kill everyone!
Police!
It's the Popo. The 1-2. Oh, that's one. That's the guy that talked to Gentle, right?
Gentle. Yep. This motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh.
The production, they really upped it this season, man.
Considerably. And it's consistent. That's what I appreciate.
And I've seen people say that, like, My Hero hasn't really been, like, quality-wise at a really good level consistently since, like, Season 3. And I'm kind of mad, but I kind of agree with them. I think
last
season 4 was
a step up, but
nice.
I feel like
last one was
season
a step
3 was consistently like an 8 or a 9 every episode.
But then again, the movie came out the same time the season was out, so. Oh my god.
Here we go.
Connie versus Aaron, man. Recently, Toho Animation uploaded. It was like a stream that Connie's VA and Aaron's VA did. Because they're best friends in real life, by the way, if you guys didn't know. Look at Ozai. Ozai and Azula.
Lil Zuzu.
Horikoshi, I'm never gonna let you live it down. You definitely took inspiration from Avatar.
Oh my goodness.
God. We're seeing it. That's wild.
That reminds me of some One Piece Wano animation. Oh
man,
my god. Could you imagine what he's thinking in this very moment? A unicorn on the wall.
Yeah. But based on his design, I'd say he's probably like 2-3 years older. About 2 years. Around Shoto's age, 15, 16.
3 years. Okay.
That's so crazy. There's people in real life that's really been in comas for decades. I can't even imagine how to... Because you're technically you're conscious a lot of that time too.
Yeah, that's why they say it's beneficial to talk to people in comas.
Yeah. I really like the range of the VA. Like, you can tell he's like in the middle of like puberty because it's like his voice is like cracking and he sounds a little deeper, but then it sounds more high pitched. Kind of reminds me of Bakugo's VA. He's good at that from other series that we've seen.
Based on the way that his body is rejecting his quirk, do you think there's a possibility he might have been given this fire quirk by All For One?
Why do you say that?
Because I know, like, we have to worry about quirk singularity, but it just seems in, like, one generation, it just increased exponentially.
I feel that since Endeavor, it was his goal to make his kids, like, surpass him. I think his flames are always going to be hotter. It's just the dilemma of his mom's genes, where he's prone to getting injured a lot. How they're showing it to us, I think, is exactly how it is. I don't think he gave him a quirk.
Well, it might not have been like a fire quirk per se, but it might have been like a multiplier type of quirk.
I just think it would go better narratively if his flames were just that hot, because he is Endeavor's son, and it just makes it worse that it's so damn hot and he don't have no cooling ability to deal with it. It just makes it more.
Oh yeah, and Dabi tried to kill all those kids, most likely.
Yeah.
That place is up in flames.
This is truthfully a broken character, like, in terms of, he's really crazed.
Like a moth to the flame.
Yep.
Oh, look at the detail.
Yeah.
The flames of his resentment. Here we go.
Whoever on that guitar, they hands on fire too.
Julia Santana.
Friction.
Truly a kamikaze type of mentality.
That was crazy when I seen it in the manga. The fact that he's like praying to himself, like, for his past. I don't know. That something about that's kind of like raw. I don't know.
It's because he died and he became someone else.
Flames of Death is also a cool title too.
I'm gonna have so much fun with this thumbnail.
Oh my god. Yeah, a lot of blue and orange, red, and if Shoto was the firstborn and Dabi was the lastborn, it would still end up the same way. Okay. Look at this man, bruh. Sir. Oh my god. I love how bright the blue is, like, mixed with that white.
That is such a great touch, because when he first came out of the coma, it was orange.
I do like that. I feel like the white is emphasized a lot, because, you know, the white is even hotter.
Yeah. Woo! Whoa!
His own version of it, yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that was demonic!
The roaring of the flames of the fire, that was fire. No pun intended.
He is feral. Whoa!
And the wow, he is going crazy in the studio.
I'm speechless.
You know what? That's another part of it I didn't think about. Is like, you have all this gift, and that's something I absolutely wanted.
Yeah.
Ooh, the
Don't
voice crack.
burn! Damn.
This episode is super as hell. This fire. All I've been seeing is blue and white the whole time. That's how you know he winning. Ooh.
Look at the way the light is glowing.
I like that. We might have to put that like on the thumbnail, like in the middle.
The music.
Like a shimmer of it or something.
The music for the sports festival fight.
Oh, I didn't even peep that. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I will say, I do respect, wow, Shoto a lot. Because, like, this shouldn't even be your problem at all. You were just born in this world, Yukikaji. I was born in this world.
He would not have said that in season 2.
Exactly, yeah. Say his season 2 self was still the same way. I honestly think
He'd lose.
Toya would have killed him.
Yep.
Both of them would hate endeavors as one hates him more. Even more. Ew.
Damn, ass cheeks.
Whew.
That's beautiful.
I'm like, can you back up a little bit though?
And this rendition of the song is a softer version.
Bruh.
Get out of there.
Why is he always touching people's shit? He's touching Ojiro's tail. He always touching stuff. He need to chill out.
Look at that.
Ooh. Some kind of mix of color, like he just. Ooh.
Look
That's
at
dope.
this! I love iris reflections.
My power.
The callback.
Full circle moment. Shout out to Deku, man. Once again, a great foil of a character. He helped. Oh my god.
Yes!
Ooh, and this is like the Endeavor, the part when he's
Yep.
going against the high end.
Phosphor!
Oh, yes. I wonder how that shit would feel. That shit hurt bad. It was burned unimaginably. Like, look at that. That coldness and heat. Oh my god.
I don't remember liking this fight this much in the manga.
I don't remember. I remember there was some really cool panels though. But this definitely elevated with the OST and going back to the sports festival, the conversation with Deku right there. Yep. Oh my god. Uh-oh. And My Hero is always about the clashes. It's not really about just the back and forth fights. It's just like with All Might and All For One. Big punches, a few big punches, the fight's over. Oh boy.
Ike!
Mm-hmm. Imagine the level of control you need with fire and ice.
One wrong move.
That shit's gonna
and you
burn
die.
regardless. He definitely, and we see him working on his breathing. You definitely need to work on your breathing for that. And All Might is also a great foil too, by the way. Obviously, we all know that. But when moments like this, with other characters, unlike Deku, Bakugo, and fucking Stain, it's just cool seeing other characters also look up to All Might.
Now they're in the foreground.
I remember that in the manga. I really like that moment.
Oh my god!
Hey, Connie's VA, he said, I want another role. He said, I want another role. My hero almost done. I want another role.
That was the punch versus the Titan!
Great Glacial. Yep, I was waiting for it.
Wow. Yes!
Oh,
Yes!
wow. That is really well done.
That is
I always
raw.
like moments like that. I always like moments like that. The pain. You got punched hella hard, you burned, and you froze in 2 seconds. Oh, God. That's a nice shot right there, by the way. That's a really nice shot. That might be the closing episode shot, because it was. All it took was really one solid punch. I mean, he was, giving Shoto the hands for a little bit earlier, but it was one punch. Loved it, though. It had a lot of emotion behind it. And that's the thing. Some people think that fights got to always be boom, boom, pow, just constantly throughout. But it also has to have a story behind it.
We've talked about this until we're blue in the face. No, that's not a pun. But for My Hero, it's not about the fights. It's about the resolution of the fight. It's about what led up to them. It's about the character dynamics that are forged through the fire and flames. This was such a fantastic episode.
And I think it's 100%, and that's like 100% true. I don't think it's something that people are just trying to cope with by saying that. It's not. We've talked about this years ago about My Hero being a series that was based off of like the interactions and the emotion behind the stories of these characters. It's not always about the back and forth of the, like, it's not. It's really not.
Yeah, what truly made me fall in love with this series was the emotions that it invoked from me. It wasn't necessarily like the animation or even the fights themselves.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I saw that before.
Uh-oh. Look how they kind of changed the placement a little bit.
A little bit.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay.
Because this is like relatively the last stuff that you've seen.
Like last two chapters, maybe.
With the Endeavor All-For One stuff.
Switching up a little bit. I like that.
So you're gonna be blind probably within the next
couple episodes.
The thing about My Hero that I think a lot of people don't realize is all about heroism. That's what it's been about. Deku, quirkless boy, wanted to be a hero. He actually became a hero without a quirk when he tried to save Bakugo in, early on in the series. And then All Might was the epitome of a hero, like the typical generic hero, which is something interesting. Like, I know a lot of people don't really like the direction going on with All For One and Shigaraki, where he's trying to like use Shigaraki's body and all this stuff. And I'm not a big fan of it either, because it's kind of like the Orochimaru Sasuke thing. But the one thing I will say is that he's a typical generic supervillain. Like, we have heard about this stuff with him and his brother reading comics and whatnot, and he kind of wants to be like that. But then when you really think about it, All Might is the same way. He technically is the generic superhero. He even have American traits to him because he moved to America. His moves, it's just like
Smash,
like a Superman and stuff. So exactly. So it's like I find that pretty interesting. And then really the story is being told with the students of UA and whatnot. And that's where you get most of the best writing in the series. Like, I'm not saying that All Might doesn't have good writing. Obviously he does. But like, this episode is a good example of that. You have a whole plot line where a father tried to make his eldest surpass him as a hero to reach All Might, the epitome of heroes, the generic Superman type, guy that nobody can actually reach him. And then it didn't go well. He kept trying to have another kid after another kid. It wasn't working out. And then he finally had the son that worked out. The eldest one was jealous, crazed. Endeavor was also crazed and power hungry at one point. Now he's trying to atone for all of that. And then you have this whole family drama. Like, this series has a lot of good little plot. Even with Ochako and Toga, like, that's a really good plot line too, because Ochako's trying to understand Toga, and she sees obviously she's not like everybody else in society. She's not quote unquote normal. And the League of Villains are all outcasts, Shigaraki story. So I think that's one thing, and I've said it before in one of the earlier episodes this season, but it's something that I don't think people appreciate as much for My Hero.
You mentioned something interesting about the archetypes of not only All Might, but All For One. They are both comically so set in their roles that they're almost like typecast, if that makes sense. Because All Might is the quintessential hero, All For One is the quintessential villain. And that can even be showcased about their last interaction, in which he's like, I hate you just as much as you hate me. That is like the perfect superhero, supervillain dynamic. They hate each other's guts for different reasons. And we're not trying to redeem All For One whatsoever. And that's one thing I have commended Horikoshi for in the past. He's not trying to make All For One redeemable. In some aspects, there is some hope for what Shiggy can be redeemed for. We'll talk about that at a later date. But generally speaking, he has kept All Might is all good and All For One is all bad. And I commend him for that in terms of sticking to his Western comic roots, because that's what he was inspired by reading as a kid. And then that's actually a plot point within the story in terms of All For One and his younger brother reading those comics of superheroes and supervillains. And then that does not even get into the fact of what we kind of get the gray side of both the hero and the villain with Dabi. Dabi's a tragic villain in its own sense. He was put on a path. Yes, he made some decisions, but generally speaking, he was put on a path by his heritage, by his father. He was trying to build him up into be the next and better version of himself. And he also did that with Shoto. Now, Shoto, if you remember in season 2, because they've made multiple callbacks to it in this particular episode, he was a darker kind of like, don't look at me, don't approach me, don't try to be friends with me type of superhero. You can't be that. How many instances do you know of superheroes that team up? We have the Justice League, we have the Avengers, we have Teen Titans, we have so many different examples. I'm not gonna give any more. But like, heroes are meant to join up together. It's not meant to be a solitary one-off like Superman or All Might. They're meant to work together because you can get more out of the group than you can individually.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's one of those things where, on one hand, I agree with people. Like, All For One, he's, not my cup of tea because he's not like a, crazily good written character. But he does exactly what he's intended to do. It's the same thing with, like, a lot of people always have a problem saying, oh, this anime or this manga is mid or whatever. Or it's like, I truthfully don't believe that all authors wants to make the most incredible story of ever. That's just not the case. You can tell. Demon Slayer, let's just use that as an example. It's very popular. We all know it's not the greatest story ever, the most like incredible plot line ever, but it's really good for what it is. Gotoge, I don't think that they tried to make it, some AOT level story. It's not the case. So I kind of feel like that with characters as well. All For One is not supposed to be this incredible written character that has a lot of, intricate writing with, his archetype and whatnot. But you get it with other villains. You get it with people like Gentle Criminal. You get it with people like Stain.
Spinner.
People who are lesser than him, who aren't as who isn't as big of a villain as All For One is. He's the biggest villain in the series, but pretty much every other villain that we've encountered in arcs are probably better written than him, and that's by design because he is exactly what he read in the comics. I think that Horikoshi, obviously, that's what he intended. Even All Might, a lot of us think that yes, he is the greatest hero, but in some ways, there's other heroes in the series that's a little bit cooler, like Endeavor, because he's a very great hero. Like, he's had done terrible things in the past. Now he's the number one. He has responsibility. It's very different from All Might. It's not the same kind of, it's almost like you're reading a whole different comic when it comes to like Endeavor and All Might. They're very different. That's why he had the conversation with All Might saying like, what is the symbol of peace? What kind of symbol should I be for society? I don't know. I just commend Horikoshi for, there's certain characters in the series that he writes for, that he does a really good job with. And then there's some characters that aren't, they don't really have a lot of shine in general, but I like that the ones that he cares about, he writes them really, really well. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, there's some members of the cast that are very nuanced, and other ones are just archetypes of what that type of character should be. Perfectly fine. I know a lot of people give him gripes in terms of how big the cast is, but I don't think you should expect every character to be written with an immaculate backstory, with stakes in the final battle, with a personal vendetta versus their adversary. It's not necessary, it takes too long, and honestly, I don't think everyone wants that just rehashed over and over and over again. Again, he's doing what he's supposed to be doing with this series, and again, I'm going to be blind here in the next couple episodes, so I'm going to have a fresh perspective, and I just cannot wait for that. It's going to be the first time in probably 5-6 years that I'll have that experience, so I cannot wait.
But really great discussion, really great episode as well. So you guys know the drill, man. Pull up every week, every weekend. We have videos dropping throughout the week. We're getting back on it on schedule with what's going on right now with Demon Slayer, My Hero, going into the summertime. More stuff in the backlog as well. So check out all that stuff for us. We really appreciate it. And pull up to our Undead Unluck streams and videos. You'll see updates for that. So I hope you guys all are going. Please stay safe, stay healthy, stay clean. See you guys on the next video. And peace.